Let's talk about financing for your next laundromat project. Whether you are purchasing a laundromat, building a new store, or buying laundry equipment, Eastern Funding offers financing solutions to help you on your laundromat journey. Eastern Funding has been financing laundromats since 1997, and they've helped thousands of laundromat owners with financing. They are specialists in the laundry space, and Eastern Funding's combination of personalized service, expertise, and customized financing solutions make them the premier lenders in the industry. Learn more at easternfunding.com/laundry. I think it's super important that if you're trying to be a meaningful voice in an industry, that you have to reflect what's actually going on in that industry. And I'm really excited for us to take that next step, because as I've kind of come in and gotten a chance to go to some events and talk to a lot of people in the space, this thing is evolving. It's changing, right? And you can tell by the way you look at stores and the way that people are approaching their business and the way that they're making decisions that this is not what it was 10 years ago. And so I think it's really important that the publication reflects that. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Planet Laundry Podcast. And guess what? This is the final episode of Planet Laundry Podcast. And so you might say, well, what's happening? Why is it going away? Are you just going to disappear into the ether? No, we've got something new planned for you. We're going to transition this show into a brand new show called Full Cycle Podcast. But that's just one piece. We've got a bigger conversation, and to have that conversation today, I'm joined by Brian Wallace, President and CEO of CLA, to talk us through some of the changes and what's going on and what happened, what's happening with Planet Laundry and what is Full Cycle. And spoiler alert, I have some input in this, and I have been a part of this conversation.
Yes, so, you do.
Brian,
yes, you do.
Brian, welcome. How's it going?
Well, thanks, Matt. No, good to be on. And, while this is sort of putting a wrap on the Planet Laundry podcast, like I said, it's really a focus on some excitement that's coming soon, just under new branding and a rebooted version of what we've been doing at CLA since 1990, which is putting out an awesome magazine. And in recent years, obviously, supporting that with multi-channel coverage with the podcast and e-newsletter and other things that we've done. We're just ready to retool, reboot, and take it to the next level as Full Cycle Magazine.
Yeah, it is. It's a retool for sure. I mean, we are making some big changes inside and out of the publication. But talk me through, and for our listeners, you and I have had this conversation about why should we do this and what's going on. Share a little bit of the insight that you have in terms of why we are making this change and why now.
Sure. And if you'll forgive a little bit of ancient history, but I think it's relevant to talk about the fact that back in 1990, there were a few trade publications in the laundromat industry, but CLA did not have its own sort of official voice. And there was a lot of clamoring for us to do that. And that was sort of the birth of what was then known as the Journal of Coin Laundry and Dry Cleaning. So just rolls right off your tongue.
You can say that 10 times fast. Yeah,
that's right. Our members, certainly knew us as the Journal. And again, that was an attempt to sort of have an authoritative resource, to have an official voice of the industry. I think the board back at that time, chose the word journal to kind of give it almost an academic feel and kind of an elevated feel. And, that served us really well. Coming up to 2010, we said, it's been, 20 years. Let's look at what comes next. And that was our reboot and retool at that point to Planet Laundry. And part of that, logic was adding the digital coverage, having a standalone website for the publication and doing the e-newsletters and trying to embrace some of the technology around that time. But, time flies, Matt, and all of a sudden 2025 comes around and, we've got, so much more that we're bringing to the table through the multi-channels, digital and otherwise. And so I just felt like it was time to match up with all the incredible changes happening in the industry, who our readers are, who our members are, what they're looking for, and really lean into kind of taking it yet to another chapter 35 years in and, start to chart the course for Full Cycle magazine, as well as all the digital multi-channel products that are going to go around that. So yeah, it was time for, just like I gave you the analogy of a store that maybe is 15 years old, a laundromat, and we have a great customer base. In our case, great audience. We have tremendous support and do a great job for our customers. But the equipment started to get a little bit old, a little bit older, long in the tooth, and so. What a great time to reboot and kind of have that analogy with our members who are always upgrading and improving and adding new technology to their laundromats. We should be doing that with our publication, and that's what we really committed to do at Full Cycle.
Yeah, well, and it's, fortunately for us, this is not a zombie mat situation, right? Like Planet Laundry was an excellent publication. Let's make no calls about it. And in the last 10 months or so, as I've kind of come on board and gotten a chance to talk to people and see kind of the quality and the kind of gravitas that people put on this publication, it's a big deal,
Sure.
So
Mm-hmm.
this change with what is it? With great power comes great responsibility, right? The Spider-Man thing. We've got a responsibility here to make sure that this change is impactful for people, and I'm pretty confident we're going to get there pretty quickly. But it's a scary piece, right? Change is hard for people.
Right. Yeah, change is never easy, but I think we owe it to our members and to the industry more broadly to keep pushing, right? Keep pushing the envelope, keep getting out ahead of where things are, and so. I think it's just it is a little bit of a pull the ripcord moment, but one that I think will serve us well, and we're excited to frankly that you're on board and that you've been able to take stock of the current publication and be part of our ideation and planning and strategic work around what's coming next. So I guess the question is. Fair to turn about to you is, what are you looking forward to, and what's your vision for what Full Cycle is going to look like come the flip of the calendar to 2026?
Yeah, sure. I think it's super important that if you're trying to be a meaningful voice in an industry, that you have to reflect what's actually going on in that industry. And I'm really excited for us to take that next step, because as I've kind of come in and gotten a chance to go to some events and talk to a lot of people in the space, this thing is evolving. It's changing, right? And you can tell by the way you look at stores and the way that people are approaching their business and the way that they're making decisions that this is not what it was 10 years ago. And so I think it's really important that the publication reflects that. And it's a slightly elevated person coming into this space now. People who have been here for a long time have upped their game as well. And so this publication has to do it. And I'm really excited to be able to kind of bring in some of that outside perspective, right? So it's one thing if we're going to sit and talk about laundromats all day long. That's super fun, right? Like we can do that and that's no big deal. But we're missing some of the outside perspective and what can we do differently and how can we get great new ideas that can really elevate us and lift our game. So that's the piece I'm super excited about. And then I'm really excited about people's stories. Like that's my passion. And I think that we have some great people stories in this industry, and to be able to tell those and share those, not just in a magazine, but on things like a podcast and some of the video work and on a new website, all of these different channels. The content landscape has changed so much in the last 5 years even that we've just got a lot of work to do. Like we got to get that story out there and we got to tell it all across the board. So I'm pumped. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, I'm always been motivated by our member stories. And while we've got some incredible second and third generation stories to tell, most of the time, I was just met a brand new couple at an event yesterday, and the one spouse was a cybersecurity engineer that was so excited about these 2 laundromats that they've bought and all the things that they're doing it. And his wife, I said, what were you doing before laundry? He goes, well, I was a fashion designer. I'm a fashion designer.
What?
So I said,
Yeah,
of course.
that's a natural transition. Yeah.
Of course, laundromats are for you. So,
Yeah.
I've always felt like we have a great opportunity to approach our readers and our viewers as entrepreneurs who happen to be in the laundromat business, and knowing that they're interested in broader business trends. They're interested in financial planning. They're interested in real estate. They're interested in the lifestyle, frankly, and some of the aesthetics that I'm excited to share with everybody that you and I have worked on, as well as the rest of our team, is it's going to have a little bit of a lifestyle publication look and feel to it. So, I just think that it's a great opportunity to, as always, showcase best practices for being successful in the laundromat business, but maybe, open the lens a little bit further toward who our members are, and not just with interesting backgrounds, as the couple I met yesterday would attest, but also the fact that we have a lot of serial entrepreneurs. We have people that are in this business and that business. Another brand new member I met yesterday is running an RV park in Western Ohio. So naturally, she's excited about the laundromat business. So I'm with you. Let's tell more of those stories. Let's tell it from kind of a couple of new perspectives, a few broader perspectives, without losing, the focus on, again, we want people to pick up this magazine and learn how to make their business better.
Yeah, and it is still laundromats. So we are going to talk about things like how do you handle this specific stain type? That stuff's still going to be in the publication. So anybody who's listening to this and is getting a little edgy and like a little concerned that the thing that you love most is disappearing, it's not. It's not. Yeah. We're going to keep all the great stuff, and we're going to build on that. So that's the most important piece of this. It's an evolution, right? We're building on the success to this point and the great things. So we're keeping all the good stuff and bringing more to it. That's the whole idea.
Yeah. And then again, I kind of like this analogy of the a store retool where we're going to have some more technology to put to use. We're going to gain some efficiencies. We are, I guess maybe we're bearing the lead in the sense that we're going to more of a quarterly cadence for print, backed up by a couple of additional special editions that will be focused on some key topics, and leaning even more into the e-newsletter, the podcast content, as well as some of the video content we've been working on over at the Spotlight channel, at the CLA Spotlight, where we've been doing long-form videos, again, highlighting these member stories and how they're putting that unique experience to use in their store. So it's going to really come together nicely. We've got an incredible team. I just have so much respect for everyone who got us to this point, and then being able to flip the page and get to work on the latest version of the industry's leading publication.
Yeah, there's a season for everything. And I gotta say, the video work that we've been putting out at CLA is so refreshing, right? Because so many times the trade association for an industry can be pretty stale and pretty like, let's just do the same thing we've always been doing and let's just not mess anything up. The fact that we're willing to take these swings is really telling about how much this association is of the industry. And I think that's a big testament to you, Brian, and the team you've built and the way you approach this. So kudos to you, frankly, for taking that leap and becoming a TikTok star, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of middle-aged laundromat guys that are dominating the algorithm at TikTok.
Yeah.
But we joke, but I mean, it's amazing to see the kind of numbers that we're seeing, the subscriber growth and the views. It just shows that there's just a lot of interest in our industry. And again, I think we owe it to our members to be looking ahead and pushing the envelope forward. And I think people are just really going to enjoy it. And I'd be remiss if I didn't also shout out our advertisers. You don't have a publication without advertisers, and there's been a real excitement among them, not just with some of the aesthetic changes and some of the content changes that are coming, but having the opportunity from their perspective to get behind some of this video content and get behind some of this digital approach, because frankly, those are the types of things that advertisers today are looking for. They want to reach their audience, of laundromat owners and prospective laundromat owners. Sure, do it through print, make sure that they're seen through kind of the flagship part of it, but also be able to get a little bit more, specific and precise in their approach when it comes to our digital products. So, shout out to all those advertisers that support us every month, and they're along for the ride, which is really a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'm excited to be able to give them these opportunities, right? Because for so long it's like, well, you want to reach more laundromat owners, great. Here's the publication. Here's all we have, right? But that's not, I mean, that stuff still works, right? Print still has a place in this world. And actually, I would argue print is more important than ever because it's the only thing that stands out, right? Because as you work so hard to do all these new things in content creation and video and shorts and reels and all this stuff, it's a noisy space. So you got to really, really kill it to do good work there. But guess what? You still go get your mail and you still look at all the stuff that comes in the mail. So you're going to look at that and you're going to see full cycle. So advertising remains important on the print side, but I'm super pumped that we can take a little bit more of a holistic approach with our advertisers and say, okay, cool. Let's talk about the goals you're trying to reach this year. What does that look like for you? Okay, great. Maybe you don't need to go in the print publication. Where you really need to be is over on this side in these couple of offerings. Or, hey, yeah, print is great for you and this and this and this, right? I mean, obviously we want everybody to give us all of their money. But I think at the end of the day, this is a partnership, right? And we want our publication to be successful, but that can't be successful if our advertisers are not successful.
And we take that, like you said earlier, we take that responsibility seriously. It's really a matter of stewardship. You know, we owe this to the business with the role that we've taken, and with you as our managing editor taking us through this. The other thing I was thinking about that maybe you can expand on a bit is, this is a great opportunity to add more voices and more contributors and get more points of view from among our readership. We've always loved elevating our readers to become contributors, columnists, podcast subjects, video subjects. So kind of what do you have in mind in terms of being able to, as part of this refresh and retool, get some new voices into the publication?
Yeah, I think it's all about the voices, right? And so, what we're going to see is that the story makeup is going to change a little bit. So I'm going to be reaching out to lots of people. People are probably going to get pretty tired of hearing from me because I want to know what
you're doing your job.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. I got to be really annoying apparently, but we need all that because if our goal is to provide lots of perspective for people so they can make the best decisions for their business, we have to get all that stuff. And it's not enough for where we're going to just have a single person saying this is the way and it must be so. That doesn't work, right? We have to have varying opinions and ideas and perspective to paint a whole picture for people so they can make their own business decisions because everybody's business is a little bit different. So I'm excited to be talking to lots of people. There's lots of opportunities too because this publication is going to be a little bit bigger, right? So as a monthly, right, you're bang, 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 you got to get it out, got to get it out, got to get it out. We can be much more intentional around the topics. And so, we're going to do things like we're going to have an issue that is focused on people. And that's everything around people. So it could be some interesting profiles, but it's also going to be things like, hey, how do you develop people in your organization? How do you hire? How do you fire, unfortunately? How do you do some of these culture building things in your group? And how do you build a real business that way that's going to last the test of time? And so to do that, guess what? We need people who've done that really well. So I know there's lots of folks out there who have these great things that they're doing so well, whether it's on the people side, whether it's on just, hey, I'm really good at managing my leases and getting great deals on that front, identifying locations, marketing and getting my wash, dry, fold business up and operational. All of these components are going to be really important for people to share what they're doing. And I think what I've seen in this industry so far is that it's a pretty collaborative space. As long as you're not right across the street from me, I'm pretty willing to
tell you
share what's kind of going on. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. But it's going to be really important. So I hope that everybody sees my emails and my phone calls and says, okay, I'm ready to share. Let's go.
Well, we had to get that pitch in for you, Matt, so people can contribute. And again, just using this just little snapshot from yesterday, meeting this nice couple, a cyber security engineer and a fashion designer, a woman who is an entrepreneur with an RV park. I met another pair of business partners. One came from a manufacturing background. Another was a firefighter. Well, they bought 2 laundromats. And what they were telling me yesterday is that just in not even a year in, they're doing 10,000 pounds a week from local Airbnbs. Like, we need to tap in to those people. What are they obviously executing at the laundromat level, but what are their backgrounds and their unique skill sets? How did it get them here, and how are they leveraging that to convert to laundromat success? So, I'm just always fascinated with these stories and how those things are coming to fruition. So that's going to be, a great opportunity, great challenge for you, is to, get us those deeper dives, get us those closer looks at the people that are really out there getting it done.
I am on my way, I hope, to my goal of being laundromat famous. I too, Brian, want to be laundromat famous. So let's go, everybody. Let's get there.
That should be everyone's aspiration, by the way.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you got to be famous for something. So
that's right.
Even if it's only to myself, then whatever. So we've got a new magazine. It's called Full Cycle. It's going to be, it's a quarterly publication. Everything's centered around a particular theme. And then we're going to have a couple of supplements, right? So we've got this, and for 2026, we're slated to do a wash, dry, fold supplement, which I know is a hot topic for everybody. And we're going to do one on innovation and technology. So as you're listening and watching this, be thinking about what are you doing in your business and what perspective can you lend to these stories as we build these out. So there's the publication. There's the podcast, which we're doing the last Planet Laundry version, but we're going to evolve to Full Cycle. We've got a new newsletter. We've got a new website. We're going to be incorporating some of the CLA Spotlight work into that website and sharing some of that stuff. So lots and lots of opportunities as we go forward here. Brian, when is this all happening? Like, when do we start this thing?
Soon. So even as we get into December, we're going to be flipping the switch. You'll start to see some of the branding come through as Full Cycle, certainly as we get into January of 26. The first real hard copy print edition will be slated for March of 2026. But again, we're going to be getting after it pretty quickly here and starting to share out some of the new branding. So again, I guess the laundromat analogy here would be a new facade, new signage, clear up those front windows and just make sure that the curb appeal is where it should be, backed by a lot of, in our case, a lot of strong content and a fresh look at the industry. So yeah, it's here.
It is here, and it starts today actually, because I have interviews scheduled for this afternoon that are kind of fun to do it this way because nobody knows it's coming, right? Nobody knows it's coming until now, and I've got all these stories that we're working on for this first issue of the magazine. That's months from now. But it's going to be amazing. I think people are going to be really. My hope is that people are excited about it, that they're proud of it. Right. I want people to see this publication land in their mailbox and say, "Yeah, I'm proud of what I do and the industry that I'm part of." I think at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, and really that was our concept that we go back 20 years is, the industry was in more of a kind of a fledgling stage, an analog stage, and we were trying to present a publication that was maybe a little bit more aspirational. Like, this is, people would pay, this is a real business. This is a real business. It's a professional industry. And again, now this is just the next, natural step to take in terms of that. Now 35-year history and again, getting excited for the new year. So yeah, we're really, again, we have this responsibility and this stewardship and we need to bring the best information, the best stories and the best channels to our industry. And we can't wait to get started. It's probably also worth noting, Matt, that if you're a current subscriber, if you're a current member of CLA, you don't have to do anything. Full Cycle is going to show up in your inbox. It's going to show up in your mailbox. And I'm sure we can share a QR code or a link here toward the end of the video about if you're not yet subscribing, how to get on board for the next cycle.
Yeah. And the other good news is that as you kind of try to break your bad habits of going to a website that might not exist in 30 days or 60 days, that's just going to redirect. So we're going to make it easy for you to find Full Cycle. For you, the experience is only going to get better. There's going to be no pain in this process for anybody that's watching or listening to this. I might have a little pain in this process, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to take all of that and we're going to make something great. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Well, Brian, I'm going to put you on the spot because I always like to give people at least one thing that they can take back. So you're out and about in this industry all the time. Can you share maybe one thing that you've heard or picked up on in the last few months that's really kind of stuck with you, that's really kind of resonating?
Yeah, and I think it probably gets back to scale. Again, I've been crisscrossing the country. I think I'm up to maybe 17, 18, maybe even 20 events now since Labor Day. And the buzzword is scale. And again, that can be sort of dismissive. Oh, sure, you're going to scale. Does that mean 100 laundromats, 1,000 laundromats? But what I'm really seeing is a lot of real thoughtful approaches to how do I add that second store, that third store, that fifth store, and understanding the importance of everything from site selection and finding the right location to looking at financing and how I leverage the equity in the businesses I've already built to make sure that I'm in a position to do the next one. I think you mentioned it earlier. There's been a lot of conversation on building culture, training teams, and elevating that process to where all of a sudden a laundromat attendant, it's a little bit more demanding position, right? It's a little bit more rewarding position, and there's more training and more support to make that happen. So I guess if I had to pick a word, I'd say scale, but then I would put it in the context of not hundreds or thousands of stores, but making sure that next 1, 2, 3 stores are dynamite and not just financially rewarding, but taking great care of the community.
Yeah, I think that's huge, right? I mean, everybody gets into business to be successful, right? Like nobody wants a business that's going to fail. And I think
no one's in it for the love of doing dirty laundry, right?
Yeah, right. But what everybody figures out in the space is like one's not enough, right?
Right.
It's like I want more, and so you have to build more, right? So it's just it's kind of what happens. You're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're gonna want to scale. It's gonna happen. You might start out with like, oh, we'll see how this goes. You're gonna want to scale. End of story. And fortunately, you've got lots of great people and resources available to you with the CLA, with Full Cycle, and quite frankly, with your laundry community. So
Full Cycle is going to be really a great companion to this next phase in the industry where we're going to see more scale. We're going to see more growth. And we just, like I said, that's where we started the conversation, right? Is we need to have a publication and a multi-channel resource that can support that next level of growth. And so I think these things are coming together very nicely, and it's really come full circle when it comes to Full Cycle.
I love that. We should probably trademark that phrase. Full circle, full cycle. Awesome. Well, hey, Brian.
You're in charge of the taglines.
Yeah, I got to deal with that. Yeah. Brian, thank you so much for kind of walking us out of our Planet Laundry era as we now enter Full Cycle.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome, Matt, and we're thrilled to have you on board at the tiller and leading us into that next phase. And next time I see you in this format will be Full Cycle.
Full cycle. Here we go. Full send. Hey, everybody, if you're listening, watching, make sure you subscribe in your podcast platform of choice. And until the next episode, guess what? Go out there, keep it clean, and take care of your business. All right, everybody. We'll see you real soon.